Good morning, Vikings, and welcome to the second NPTV broadcast. I'm Dharma Fribley.
And I'm Maggie McCutcheon. At this time, would everyone please stand for a moment of silence? Now please join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
On Monday, there will be a speech call-out meeting during Flex in the auditorium. Also, don't forget that we will have an e-learning day next Tuesday.
The first Student Liaison meeting is next Wednesday. At Student Liaison, the president and vice president from each class get together and talk about changes the student body wants to see. If you have suggestions to improve our school, please talk to your class officers.
We have our first official club schedule on Wednesday. And I know it's been a few years since we've had clubs, so here's what you can expect.
Everyone will go to first and third periods on a shortened schedule. Then, you'll report to your AM club or study hall. Then, fourth period and lunches will be at their normal times. After fourth period, you'll report to your PM club assignments. Finally, you'll finish out the day with 5th through 7th periods on a shortened schedule.
Don't worry if you don't know where you're meeting yet. The schedule and room assignments will be emailed later today and posted throughout the halls next week.
On Thursday, North Posey is hosting a blood drive. Anyone 16 years old and older is welcome to participate. Please see the office for more details.
Jostens will be at lunch on Thursday for sophomores and seniors to turn in their order forms. And now, you may have noticed that we are not the same anchors you saw last week. That's because this year we will have two broadcasting teams that alternate each week, That Viking Show and Back in Black. We are That Viking Show, and today we want to introduce you to all the members of our crew.
Seated at the main anchor desk and entertainment center, we have Maggie McCutcheon, Dharma Fribley, Tad Jones, and Ben Lucott.
Hustling over to the Sports Network, we have Cage Christie. He will often be joined by the Back in Black sports anchor, Katie Oakley. And you can't forget about our outstanding tech crew of Brendan Mofield, Savannah Nottingham, and Cheyenne Niemer. And last but definitely not least, our producer, Jonathan Schmidt.
Now sending it over to Cage and Katie for a look at our sports.
Good morning, North Posey, and welcome back to NPSN. I'm Cage.
And I'm Katie.
Volleyball had a very busy week with 3 consecutive games. Tuesday, volleyball faced off against Mount Vernon. They won the grueling game in 5 sets.
It was a long game, but they fought hard, winning against a huge PAC threat.
And Wednesday, they faced Evansville North, winning this in 4 sets. And the final game this week was against Memorial. The team won in 5 sets, reverse sweeping them.
All of these games this week were super impressive, but the Memorial game on Thursday was especially exciting after losing the first 2 sets and coming back to win the final 3. And all of the support from the student section and community was awesome.
Definitely a long week with some intense games for the volleyball team.
Yeah. Boys and girls cross country took first place at the South Spencer Invite.
And at the Gibson Southern Invitational, the girls placed 5th out of 16 teams. The medal placers at Gibson Southern were Ellie Jo Johnson, Olivia Esche, McKenna Delph, Gavin Wheeler, and Cade Beaker.
Boys tennis on Tuesday won 5-0 against South Spencer. The team coached by Mr. Barrett has had a strong start to their season.
They've had a very strong start.
Tonight, the North Posey Viking football team will take on the Tell City Marksmen at Tell City. The Vikings are looking for a bounce back this week after last week's loss. Good luck, boys.
Now sending over to Weatherman, Vince, and Braylon.
Usually during the summer, it is scorching hot outside, but this weekend is just looking the exact opposite with temperatures just in the low 80s.
Yeah, this summer did feel good. Not too hot and not too cold. But I think it could have been a little cooler. But hey, you're the weatherman. You should know how to change the weather.
Yeah.
That would be a little nice.
That's my fault.
Now here's Vince with the skeetometer.
The skeeter meter is even higher than last week with a chance of a skeetornado during the late evenings, but don't watch it or else you might get struck by a sweat bee. So if you're going camping this weekend, make sure you pack that bugger spray. Anyways, Braylon, what is the weekend forecast looking like?
Well, today it is going to be partly cloudy with a high of 86 and a low of 62. Tomorrow it's going to be rainy with a high of 77 and a low of 66. On Sunday, it's going to be partly cloudy with a high of 77 and a low of 59 with a chance of rain. And on Monday, it's going to be rainy with a high of 75 and a low of 56. Now, sending it over to the entertainment corner with Ben.
Welcome to my bad joke corner. Today I'm going to say a few jokes I got from the legendary Mr. Coon. Okay, so why are toilets so good at poker? Because they always get a flush. Why don't blind people skydive? Because it scares their dog. That's it for today. Now sending it over to Tad.
Thank you for those words of wisdom, Ben. Our school's marching band recently returned, and they just about blew that audience away with all the new wins during their first performance. I am joined by North Posey High School band's Tyler Simpson and Abby Wright-Eicher. Can you guys tell us a little bit about which instrument you play and why you joined band?
I played trombone, and I joined band in 6th grade. Mostly because my mother had joined band when she was in school. But now it's just, I have stayed in mostly because of personal interest in seeing the growth of the band and just influence of the arts. So I would say that's why I joined and why I still am.
I play the flute, and I joined the band because my dad and my aunt are musicians, and so I've always found a love for music, so I'm here continuing to play music.
Whoa! You guys are awesome! No wonder the band students sound so great this year. Speaking of which, the families, the students, and the staff at the first home football game have shown massive support for the band's first performance of Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana. What other songs do you guys plan to perform?
Well, we got our next song at our next show, 21 Guns.
God, I forgot the name of the song.
Misery Business?
Misery Business. I forgot who made it. But Misery Business by Paramore.
In terms of last year's marching season compared to now, what would you say is the biggest improvement?
Well, we definitely have a lot more people. A lot more people have shown up and are putting in a lot more effort, so it's sounding better overall.
I would say actually like the quality of the sound they produce. I think that as a larger band, we're able to do more complex pieces and in turn be able to have a much nicer sound overall due to the different harmonies and rhythms that are coming together to produce a piece.
You know, I've heard marching band can be quite difficult for some individuals. Why do you think it's worth the hard work and dedication?
I personally believe that it feels like a triumph. Like, obviously we have tough sports like football, basketball, and I would not say that marching band is nearly as hard as those, but it's just a different sense of accomplishment. That you learned basically a new language, memorized it, and are able to produce that into a different sound that everyone can enjoy.
Seeing it all come together after we've worked so hard on it is very rewarding. It's a lot of fun to see it come together.
Lastly, what type of person should consider joining marching band and why?
If you're ready to be on the heat for 30 minutes a day, playing an instrument, memorizing music, and if you're dedicated to all that, not really easy.
I think if you enjoy music, I mean everyone enjoys music really, unless you're weird. Sorry, off script. But we play all kinds of music, so I think it's really open to anyone at all. And I just think that is the best part of it. And I know I kind of avoid the question about who should join. I think anyone can and
If
should.
you know how to play an instrument, you're dedicated.
If you want to learn how to play an instrument, you're dedicated. If you just want to learn to play an instrument, just join. I mean, it really is an accomplishing feat.
That sounds awesome! I wish I could join marching band. If only I wasn't graduating this year.
Alright, concert B flat. That includes you too, Tad.
But I'm not a band student.
Tad seems to be a little confused at the moment. Why don't we go check in on him?
Tyler, help! I don't
Thanks, Tad. To conclude this week's broadcast, we want to take a moment to highlight one of our outstanding seniors, Jacob Downey.
Jacob plays an important role as the head programmer of the robotics team. He spends hours creating and testing codes for the robot. As a senior, he is setting a great example to younger team members and about perseverance and troubleshooting.
Jacob is also a member of the tennis team. So far, he is 6-3 this season.
And no matter what activity you see Jacob at, he's always making someone laugh.
We'd like to start highlighting seniors on a weekly basis. If you have a senior you think deserves a shout out, talk to Miss McCutcheon.
Thank you for tuning in to our second broadcast. See you next time, Vikings. NPTV, signing off.